Hello guys, welcome back. For the last few episodes, we are only checking out on APIs. So it's time to bring up the web interface. Okay, so let's build a browser-based website. Okay, so we just want to build an interface for the users that could just use our existing services like authentication. I'm saying, okay, so right now we are using Postman to send anything or use anything. So we're going to create a web interface. I'm going to show you that in this episode. Okay, so before we get into that, I just created a few files. Okay, let me show you. So actually, if you remember, I just added a directory called includes, so which is holding my some files that I just want to include from outside of the programming. So among that, the first one is jQuery. Okay, so I'm using jQuery. So if it doesn't know about jQuery, please go check it on some other sources. Okay, so it's a kind of a third-party tool. Okay, like a framework. So coming to my index.php, I just changed it. uh, okay, I'll just show you. Okay, so right now this is my AJAX file, guys. Okay, so what I'm doing is except for a directory request on API and components and file extensions like jpg, png, css and js, I'm redirecting everything to index.php. So here index.php is similar to the routes we wrote in APIs. Okay, but here instead of calling functions, I'm presenting the HTML documents. Okay, so if you see here, guys, I'm showing up components homes index.php. Okay, so this is what you see. So when you click localhost/blog, so this is what you see. So if I change to login, okay, so if I change this route to login, you're gonna see a different one. Oops, okay, that's a bad request because I just spelled wrong, and you could see if anything goes wrong, I'm saying it's a 404 bad request. So if I click it exactly as I want, you could see now it's login page. So I just added a few animations, guys. Okay, so I'm just playing with jQuery for a while, just to get back. So yeah, so this is already, so it's just increasing and decreasing the opacity of the page. So coming to style, I just created myself a few styles. Okay, I just wanted to just put the buttons and inputs in a particular stylings. So whatever I just put here will be loaded here. So I'm just loading everything here, guys. So one thing to remember is, since we are using that htaccess and kind of a stuff, this is how we include our files. Okay, we need to include the entire URL, so entire directory structure here. Since it is we could directly say, I mean, most of the time when we're building normal pages, I used to do like this, but here we have to include from the route directory. So that's a good way, and it's better not to get clumsy. So if you get to components, I had a directory called home. Okay, so inside the components I'll have a directory called home here. So inside the directory I'll have three files. Okay, index, script and style. So these are the three files here. So in the index, it's just a h1 tag with saying some welcome. So if you go to script.js, it has nothing right now. Style has nothing, but to include them we need to do in this way. Okay, so we have to include from the root directory /blog components home and script.js. So that's how we include the files when we need them. So let's start with a login page. Okay, so right now I just want to build a simple login page so that users can log in. So just replicate that and rename this to login. Okay, so this is the reason why I imported jQuery. So you could do it multiple ways, but I'm just want to use the jQuery right now. So I'm going to create a function which is going to say login. Okay, so login is going to take something like data. Okay, I'm just going to take the data. So assume it's instead of data, just rename it like this, empty. So I'll just make sure I'll just read the forms. Okay, here const forms. Okay, so which is going to concentrate on document.forms of login. So we haven't created that, so we'll be creating that form in a minute. So I'm writing the behind logic how I just want it to be. So first I just wanted to have the username and password to login, right? So I'll create a const data. So the input data I just want to send to my server. This is what I write. So username is the not actually doc, it's form of username. So it's gonna get my username value from that. So dot value. Okay, so here I'm not concentrating on any validations, guys, because I just did the validation on my server. so it doesn't want to do any validations here. So you should also do validation here according to, like, if it doesn't want to make your server so busy. So right now I'm not caring about that, so I'm just writing. So now in jQuery you could use a dollar. So when you import jQuery, you will have a dollar symbol available, which is going to invoke the jQuery methods. So I'm going to use AJAX for that. So AJAX of. So first thing is we have to send a URL. So the URL is okay, let me open my Postman once again. Yeah, so the URL, if you remember, it should be like this. Okay, localhost slash blog slash API slash v1 slash and then login. So this is actually the request API. So since we haven't passed any information saying it's incorrect information, that's okay, fine. So this is the path, and the type, I mean the method type we are using here, the type of method, it's post method, and the data we would like to pass. So you could say it's a body or a data. So I'd say it's a data. I just want to pass the data that's created. So on function, so I could use a function. So since you could say AJAX is also acts as a promise nowadays, so if you want to use it as a promise, you could use that, but I just want to say if it's a success, I just want to get a function. Okay, oops, yeah, function which is gonna take a response, and I'm gonna print it like this. And in case of error, I'm going to take another function. Oops. Okay, a function, it's gonna take an error, and that's it. So here I'm gonna console log the error. Okay, and here I'm going to console log the response. Okay, so for now I'll just comment this stuff, and I'll pass, as we know the password of this is admin, I mean the username is admin, we got it right. So yeah, come here, and the password should be 456 789. Yep. As I remember, like Postman has turned on, right? So the password, the login, body is, the password is 45689. Yeah, the username is admin. So click here, it should give me 200 if I'm not wrong. If, yeah, so it's giving me 200. So this is the response we're expecting here. So let's try to invoke this. Okay, so before that I need to do this thing. So whenever I just create a new component, only thing I have to write is a case and pass this in here, the pass the components directory. So right now I'm just using login, so I just use login, and that's it. So no need to change anything. Hope it should work. If you click refresh, it's saying welcome, that's fine. Okay, so it should say it's I'll say let's login here, and I'll make a call in the function in here. Login function, and just call that. There we go. So let me open my console right there. Console, yeah. So let's refresh the page. So we're getting error, login is not defined. Really, because we are targeting a different one, so it should be changed to login. So these are things we need to change all the time. It's kind of a heavy work right there. Yeah, so you could see, guys, we got a response right on the side. You could see that's the response. So that's in the format of a kind of a string, if I'm not wrong. So we could convert it to JSON. Okay, so I could say JSON.parse of response. So if you say that, it should parse my existing the response into JSON, and it should give me the exact. Yeah, so you could see. So this is how it is. The data is UID1 developer. It's a kind of information, and the request is, this is the request I made, and the status. So this is what we are doing. We're going to do. So now I'm gonna turn it back to the form based one. Okay, this is how I just want it to be. There we go. So now we're going to take the value from the form instead of this one. So I'll just comment this. Okay, I'll just create a form here. Okay, a form. So I want a div tag. Inside that okay, I want a div tag, and inside the div tag I'll have an input tag which is type of text. Okay, and name of it is username, and close it. Okay, I'll just copy this. So the password, and this one is submit, and no need a value, so actually we doesn't need a name. Okay, we need the name and a value too, and the value is log submit, and the value is, I mean the name of this one is submit. So if I refresh the page, you're gonna see a form. Yeah, there we go. So you could see just ignore guys. Okay, I'm kind of a little crazy here, so I'll change this to button. So now need a value. I'll just say login. So if I refresh, it should look better. Yeah. Okay, so if I type here admin and type 456789, so before that let me open the console. Okay, so if you type console and click on login, so it's nothing happened. Okay, so the problem here is we need to add, I mean we should include this one. Okay, we should need to create a communication between that form and this one. So I'll say on submit equal login. So whenever you submit a form, the page automatically redirects it to something else since it is a post method. So I have to not to do that, I'll say return false. Okay, so yep, and I should also include a name for this form. Okay, so I'll say it's a login form. So I just changed it in here. Okay, so I already changed it here, so it's a login form since the method and do not conflict there. So I just change this login form. Now I could call a login method which is gonna give me the result. Okay, let's refresh the page and type admin and then oops, yeah. So now if I click login, you could see that I'm getting the status. Okay, it's saying me I'm logged in, or it's throwing me a new ID. So now, so what I'm gonna do is, if you remember in the APIs, if there is something wrong, we are sending a code, right? So I'm sending a code inside the data. So if I figure out there is a code inside the data, I'll say it's an error, or else I'll say it's a true value. So that's how I just do it. It's not required. Yep. So I just want this JSON data to be outside of this one anymore right now. So I'll just keep it there. So I'll say if data dot, instead of data, I'll say, okay, let's leave it as data. So data dot code. Okay, if there is something like that, I'll say it's a error. So I say I'll just use document dot form. Not actually, we already had a form, so we could say form. So yeah, I'll just use document. Okay, so that's okay. Document dot get element by ID of response. Okay, response dot inner HTML is equal to data dot message. Okay, in case there is no code, I'll just say it's a success. Yeah, so we need to add this, right? So we need to add this field in the, the div ID called resect. So I'll add it down there. So I'll say it's 6 tag. So whose ID is response. So now if I refresh it and click on admin and 456789, so you could see there is a success. If I just manipulate the value, you could see incorrect password provided. If I say admin something like that, so whatever the password is, it says provided username is incorrect. So yeah, let me zoom in if it's already not clear, so you could see. So that's how the error is going to be displayed. So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys just understood how we could create interfaces when using APIs. So in the next coming episodes, we're going to concentrate on the remaining service like registration, logout, and handling the sessions. So once we are done with that, we'll get back to the APIs of building the posts. Okay. So thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.